Good evening, folks out there in Twitch and YouTube land. I am Captain Blade J52, and I am joined for this episode of the Pilot Review Show by some of my merry cohorts. We have our resident hologram, Artie.
Hello.
As well as everyone's favorite teacher of the Hope She Doesn't Explode Kirby variety.
Howdy folks, we're hoping I don't explode. There may be some storm activity or something, I don't know, but my internet's running very slow tonight. So we're hoping I stay connected.
Yep. So, if you hear people coming in and out of the channel, may or may not be Kirby exploding. Hopefully it's not Kirby exploding. But, with that in mind,
Hopefully.
folks...
Exploding hurts.
Oh, yes. Yes, it does. I still remember my blue screen of death from a couple weeks ago, which was not fun. But, anyways, folks, we should probably go ahead and get into everything. Got some pretty decent stuff to get through this week. And first up, we have the Season 12 Reckoning coming to Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So, for those of you looking for some new content, on April the 18th, you will be getting the Season 12. You'll be getting the return of General Rodek, as well as the episode of Signs Importance. This will get you the Brayden set, as well as another cool new mission. You'll also be getting the Zenkethi as enemies, as well as the Gravity Kills in Zenkethi Front missions, which are very, very good missions. Then you will also be getting the new Gonkra Battle Zone for the Lucari, as well as the new Lucari Reputation and the new Kits and Modules R&D Crafting School. So for this new school, I will point out really quickly, once this hits, your ground items will no longer be able to be upgraded through the standard ground kit items. You will need the Kits and Modules tech upgrades if you want to upgrade a portion of your kit. But, any thoughts on our new season coming to console, guys?
I'm gonna say that
Go ahead.
It sounds really great. I'm real happy that these guys are catching up with us really quick too. So sooner or later, these guys are going to be like, as soon as the PC get something, they're going to get it right alongside us. So I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like they're getting everything we got at the beginning of Season 12. So... sounds good. You'll like Gravity Kills?
Unless you get killed by gravity.
We'll laugh here. Yeah.
And in case you folks are wondering... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it is a good queue, and it definitely requires some teamwork. So it is fun to play.
Yes, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And in case folks are wondering, that is a black hole that you are fighting next to. So, you will want to be very careful in that queue. But, anyways, we will have this in the notes for you guys to check out, so you can see what all you guys are going to be getting in the blog and whatnot. But moving along, we have a Xbox Spring Sale.
Next up, I was going to jump in on that. So next up is the Xbox Spring Sale Save on Zen. So they're going to be doing a Zen discount. Yep, you get a 15% discount on without purchase of up to 1,000 Zen. You get a 20% discount on purchases of 2,000 to 5,300 Zen. And you get a 25% discount on purchases of 11,000 to 23,000 Zen. So nice bits of discount there. And so basically buy Zen, have fun.
Yep, so if you've been looking to get maybe that one particular ship pack, maybe just want to splurge on some keys, whatever it is, now's the time to invest in that Zen. Speaking of keys, for our console players, next we have the 15% key sale.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Starts on Tuesday, April 11th, and it ends on Friday, April 21st. With the Zen going on for only, what is that, half of that time? 15% key sale would go real quick with the Zen sale, so get those keys while you can, and you may get those special drops that you've been wanting. So let's hope for that.
Now, that is for Xbox One?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, so you could get even more keys
I was
with
just
the Zen
checking.
discount.
Yes, exactly. So you get your discounted Zen, so you can buy more Zen, and then you can buy more keys, so you can open more lock boxes and get more good stuff.
Everyone's happy.
Yes.
Indeed.
And cryptic laughs all the way to the bank. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's not untrue.
The Ferengis are smiling and rubbing their lobes. No.
They're definitely evil geniuses. Every time, I'm telling you, console
They
players,
are.
every time I want to save cash,
They are.
somebody at Cryptic is like, hold my beer, and then they do something like this.
Yep. They live for it, man. They know his weaknesses.
Yes, they do. But definitely check that out, and we will have that in the notes for you guys. Speaking of other fun stuff Lockbox related, we have an all Lockbox drop event that is for our console players out there, where from April the 11th, which was this Tuesday, until April the 17th, you guys are having an all Lockbox drop event where the previously retired Lockboxes will be dropping yet again. You have the Tau Shiar, the Cardassian Dominion, the Kelvin, the Vodwar, and the Alachi Lockbox. So, if you've been looking for a particular reward out of one of those boxes, now's your chance to get the box so you can actually take a crack at it. And even if you don't get a ship, maybe you'll get something pretty cool that you may end up enjoying just as much. But until you guys get something similar to the Infinity Box like what we have here, this is pretty much how they're going to be doing it for you guys. But any quick thoughts, guys?
Not really.
I just wanted to give the reminder this is for Xbox One. So this is not for PlayStation or PC, but just for Xbox One.
Actually, this is for console both.
Or is it for...
It's for both consoles,
it's for both.
yeah.
Okay. My mistake. PS4, don't shoot me, don't shoot me!
Yeah.
Down the knife. Okay.
Usually
Honestly, I think
those-
it's yeah. I feel like this is such a good thing to do for the console players because some of them might have missed out on
It
a
is.
certain lockbox, and they're like, "Oh, it's back again. Get it while you can."
Yep.
And especially with the keys
Yeah.
and the Zen bundles and all that, you may get that special ship you wanted.
Which reminds me, I still have a Keldon waiting on me over there that I've not leveled up to.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
What? Tier 6 Keldon? What?
But moving along, we have the end of the Gateway service that was announced. Kirby.
Yes. Sorry?
Hmm?
Yes, that gateway service that, so, Star Trek Online had, it's not coming up for me, had a gateway service that was doing various, I think we found why my internet was exploding. This particular page is not coming up at all.
I'll take it.
It's been trying to. Yeah, go ahead and take it, Artie. Thank you.
Well, what it says specifically from Ambassador Kale, it says, Captain, Star Trek Online Gateway System will be shutting down April 13th. While some members of the community enjoyed it, the system never garnered enough interest to warrant further support. There are no plans for similar features at this time, and we apologize for any inconvenience its removal may cause. Basically, that really cool system that you can look at your characters, it popped up with this little L card thing saying, hey, welcome back, Captain or Admiral, or whatever rank that character was. You get to look at your character stats, what equipment you may have at that time. I think you could also do duty officer missions at one point, I believe. I don't remember.
They said they were going to do that, but they never got around to it. You could slot if you were the fleet leader or had permissions to slot projects. You could manage fleet projects from it, but that was as far as any functionality that I'm aware of went.
Yeah. It was a good, simple system, really, but it wasn't given enough time and love to, build up and have it more modernized to current standards, I guess you can say. So instead of continuing trying to hash at it, they just dropped it and went, we'll probably bring something up later down the road, but not at this point.
Yeah. I know support for it was dropped a while ago. So it didn't get updated when new content came out. Which kind of made it difficult to use as the game changed.
But yeah, sadly it did end. I would have liked to have seen it become something more than what it was. And looks like the stream's lagging just a hair for me. Y'all still there? Hey, Rutro.
Connection lost.
Oh dear. Okay,
How much of the conversation did we miss?
Not too much, I don't think. Let me see if we're back up on the stream.
Nope. Okay, sorry about that, guys.
Yep, I apologize for the technical difficulties, folks. I'm not really sure what happened, except that my net took a momentary dump. But,
You
yeah.
exploded. Just admit it. You
And-
exploded.
And to think, we were worried about Kirby being the one to
You
explode.
were worried about me?
Yeah, out of all of
I
us,
know,
you just
right?
dropped. That's insane.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Artie was worried about him exploding because he's on hotel internet. I was worried about exploding because, because I was having packet loss, and the one that timed out and exploded, Darkblade.
And my internet's just like, oh yeah, we're worried about these two exploding. Hold my beer, this is going to be funny.
The universe out to get you, friend.
Yes, it is. But, what was the last thing you guys heard?
Murphy's Law.
Kirby was talking about the promises and stuff that was going to be added to the gateway before. Yeah.
I see. Well, this is going to make for an
Yeah,
interesting little bit of recording about this time when it goes up. Because I was trying to say something and I couldn't hear Kirby.
Well,
I
to
was just
paraphrase.
really,
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really would have liked to see the being able to do duty officer assignments and admiralty through your phone, which is what the
Oh,
gateway
yeah.
promised, and that just never came to be, and I'm sad about that, but it has gone the way of the dodo, and we shall miss it. Those that used it shall really miss it.
Now, I just hope
But
now that it's technically, they're done with it, they're not going to really support it now, if they would give it to someone that may want to tinker with it or something. I know someone, including me, that may want to tinker with what they have and try to help out, then give it back and go, hey, I made it better for you. But,
Could be one possibility, I suppose.
yeah, because I love their overlay and everything, how everything moved so fluid, and then,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, there were some bugs with it, like sometimes it didn't show your ship, or sometimes it was like white out on certain things, but oh well.
Yep. I know for me personally, I was kind of hoping that they would do more with it. Perhaps allow you to mess with the exchange on there. Kind of like a similar version to the World of Warcraft gateway where you can do a lot of different stuff. Or the armory, I guess, for WoW, whatever the heck they call their version of it. But sadly, it has gone the way of the dodo and everything. But we will have a link for the forum post if you would like to give them some constructive feedback and everything, or express your approval or disapproval, either way.
And constructive means saying things like, I understand this had to go. I wish it had done this. Not, you took it away, you big meanies.
Yep.
Just
Yes.
thought we needed to define that, because,
Do please keep things civil during
Constructive
construction. Or construction. I'm not sure where that come from, but
during
constructive feedback. There we go.
feedback.
I can't words tonight, apparently.
Ugh.
But, anyways, moving along to the next big thing. I am actually going to grab this one because I figured we'd give Artie the fun one next. We have the War Game Scenarios, the Binary Circuit. Following the success of the Arena of Sompek training initiative, the Alliance has set up further exercises to prepare its captain for the oncoming challenges that await them. These new competitive PvE war game scenarios will place teams of 10 players into teams of 5 and challenge them in trials of speed, strength, and ingenuity, and they must race to complete objectives before the other team succeeds. So, basically, in a sense, this is essentially a ground version of something we have where you race to complete different challenges. This one is essentially another type of battleground similar to what we have with the new space queues. So, makes sense that they have a ground version and a space version. But
Now, I do notice there's one big difference.
do tell.
It says the Alliance is concerned with puzzle solving and team building in this scenario, so captains will not be finding themselves in a direct battle with the opposite team, although you can still trip them up from a distance. So it sounds to me like this will not end up in a PvP scenario.
But it does sound like you may be able to like hit them with like a sniper rifle or something. Who knows?
Maybe put some kind of hazard, like when you solve a puzzle, that puzzle can put some kind of hazard in their path.
I get you. That may be
Yeah.
something.
That's kind
So
of
that
where
would
I'm
be trip
going
them
with
up
that.
from a distance. Yeah, that's what it reads like. Now I could be completely wrong.
Oh dear.
Who knows? From the picture, it
Yeah.
looks like you're inside a Borg facility. You do one puzzle and you just send a whole bunch of drones after the other team.
You're actually on a cooperative cube,
Yep.
so
Oh,
that's
ta-da.
something fun.
So you're not too far off there, Artie.
But yes, you'll get some pretty decent rewards from this. Some R&D materials, some marks, a little bit of lithium. So, pretty decent stuff and everything. But yeah, like I'm saying, this is kind of similar to the Battlegrounds. It's not a direct PvP challenge, as Kirby pointed out. But, like she was saying, my guess is you'll be able to trip each other up through some type of hazards, through various things such as that, perhaps. So, I wouldn't say PvP in the traditional sense, if that turns out to be the case.
I 100% approve of this so far.
But yeah. Anyways, the fun thing that we're getting to, that I know Artie was going to enjoy as the RP person, is we have Becca Noel's Star Trek Online inspired cosplay.
Okay, well, Becca Knoll, she's big into cosplay and such like that, and was inspired to create a outfit of her original character and similar to STO. And she debuted this on Cosplay Melee on their last night, and everyone loved it. A bunch of her fans were thinking that it was something like the Tal Shiar kind of went, oh, that's some nice Iconian tech over there. What if we just nicked that and put all that on a person? That would look great. And she made it all look wonderful. You can see her pictures on Facebook on the Star Trek Online forums. You may be able to even find her on Facebook and follow her there. I know she may have a Twitter and Instagram, so you may be able to follow her there. But her image for what it looks like looks really great. I actually don't know what she calls it, but it was really big inspired into STO design. I'm happy. Just looking at it.
Yeah, it definitely looks awesome. Looks very heavy.
From what my guess is, as I've seen a lot of cosplays and all that, it's probably just a foam with some PVC like mesh over it, and then just painted. So it's probably lightweight, and it's all built into the chest gear. And then probably unhooks, so it's easier to take off.
Yeah. It's still, though, it's even if it is foam, it still looks very heavy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can see that. But definitely glad to see STO getting some much deserved love in the cosplay area as well. It's always very fun to see what people can do with certain characters and how they can bring them to life. But we will definitely have a link to this, and you guys should be able to, through a couple of Facebook links, be able to follow her on Facebook, as well as the main STO page there. But we will have that in the notes and everything. But moving along, we have the competitive war games reputation.
Alright.
Kirby is president.
So, yes. Hey. I'm present. I don't know about president. Alright. Competitive war games. So, basically, this reputation is... I'll say it. It's basically PvP. It's a PvP-based reputation. The gear is going to be centered more towards competing with other players, hence the word competitive war games. And it does look interesting, but you progress the normal way you progress through reputation by getting marks and completing the daily projects. So to get the marks, you have to do the assigned queues. These can be PvP and competitive PvE matches that are designed to give you the marks. They also have an elite mark that are called assessed stratagems. They can also be earned by participating in the advanced and elite versions of any queued event which rewards competitive marks. So high-end gear projects are going to require a small amount of the stratagems. And competitive marks and assessed stratagems can be turned over for gear. So we have some sets, the prevailing regalia set, and that's going to have a deflector, a impulse engine, shield array, and warp core. Okay, so the deflector is going to streamline defensive frequency output while reducing its electrostatic footprint. This results in improved hull and shield damage thresholds, as well as increased stealth capabilities, which is good for PvP, player versus player. Okay, and the impulse engines offers a balance of speed at all power levels, while also supplying increased maneuverability when using auxiliary thrusters. The engines can be modified to accept power overflow when using certain abilities, and during this process further excess is fed back into the system, decreasing the time it takes for career powers to become available. And then the shield array have potent reactive capability with coagulative energy properties. These shields have the potential to strengthen against sudden strong energy based sources for a brief period of time. This property also has the added benefit of slowing down incoming physical and kinetic bodies, resulting in decreased impact damage. Basically, the potential to strengthen against sudden strong energy based sources, similar to, oh good lord, I can't remember the name of it. Hello Mids, how you doing tonight? They just decided to pop right in my head and make me not remember.
Pretty sure we just got our episode title with that one.
Hello, Meds.
Yep. Okay, I know it's an engineering trait.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah,
Hey, somebody in here was thanking it. I'm just the
You're
jerk
the
that said
one
it.
that said it. Yeah.
Little Animaniacs pun there for everybody.
Skills. There it is. Reverse shield polarity. That's
There it
what I
is.
was thinking of.
Yay, she
Reverse
found it.
shield polarity. It's similar to that. Well, you know. Okay. Now that we got that, this side effect brought to you by oxcarbazepine. Okay. You can say oxcarbazepine, but not reverse shield polarity. Okay. So it's similar to reverse shield polarity, where it strengthens against the sudden strong energy based sources. Love my meds, I'm telling you. And then the warp core increases a subsystem's maximum power level, or maximum power, by 5. Additionally, increased type of power now contributes to a resistance based on the flavor of the core. So engine power scales control resistance, shield power scales shield drain resistance, and auxiliary power scales exotic damage resistance. So there's going to be different flavors of the core, and you get to choose which flavor you wish. And of course, for our Romulans, they get a singularity core, and it is basically the same thing, except prevailing singularity cores increase the subsystem's power levels by +5 to +15 based on your singularity charge level. Additionally, it contributes to resistance based on the flavor of the core. Engine, again, scales control, so same basic thing. And then there's bonuses. So the 2-piece bonus, well-rounded, plus Starship hull capacity, plus Starship control expertise, and plus Starship weapon specialization. The 3-piece, coagulative particle resilience, when damaged by energy damage, gain plus 1.5 bonus energy damage resistance rating for 1 second stacks up to 10 times. When at 10 stacks, gain plus 25 bonus energy damage resistance rating for 5 seconds. And that can occur once every 30 seconds. And the 4-piece Overwhelming Tactics is a clickable. Target has minus 50% all damage reduced for 10 seconds. And then, of course, we have another set. That's the obfuscated set. So it comes with the console, Covert Munition Deployment Console. And this was designed for missions that require added finesse when deploying ordnance behind enemy lines. Capable of both increasing stealth and payload output, this dual-purpose piece of equipment can prove deadly in subterfuge situations. So this is going to be good for PvP, player versus player. And then we have Tetryon support directed energy weapons, and that is omnidirectional Tetryon support beam array or Tetryon support heavy turret. They have built-in support functionality while maintaining a fire on a target. It causes their armament cadence to become more suppressed, resulting in less abnormal concentrations of firepower. Tetryon support weapons reduce the critical hit chance and severity of the targets they hit. Interesting. Modulating competition mine launcher. The modulating competition mine launcher was designed for maximum payload potential while offering the convenience of normal cadence payload deployment. So to achieve this, the individual payloads were designed to modulate themselves post-deployment. The modulation takes time, but results in stronger overall output. The modulation has a built-in safety override, which will stop the output before it can reach unstable conditions. Okay, and then of course there's bonuses. So the hidden payload bonus, 2-piece. Large stealth increase based on throttle speed. The lower your throttle, the higher the stealth value remains. And plus starship control expertise. 3-piece bonus, Master of the Mind. M-I-N-E-D, not the mind in your head. Passive and clickable. Quantum projectile damage. Mine and torpedo resistance. And then we have a Seeking Mine subroutine, a clickable. Single target debuff ability that instructs all of your mines to slowly seek towards the affected target. If the debuff expires before arriving, the mines will stay where they currently are located. Alrighty. And then of course there's others. This is going to be quite long if I keep reading. Should I summarize? So we have some others. I'm not going to read what everything does at this point. So we have the Duelist Regalia that comes with the Duelist Polyalloy Weave Armor, Duelist Attenuating Personal Shield, Duelist Tetryon Decompression Pistol, and then they have set bonuses. It does have a short GIF, a short GIF. And of course there are bonuses. There's a 2-piece bonus that gives plus Tetryon and plus kit readiness. And the 3-piece bonus modifies the secondary fire so that the last charge of the ability will leave a debuff on the target that increases the recharge time of kit modules and captain powers. And if it's an NPC, it will disable instead. Alright, it does have a secondary deflector, and it has 3 varieties as you would expect. And let's see, inhibiting, deteriorating, and resonating. There is also a competition secondary deflector. Okay, and that's going to enhance sensor analysis. Okay, heavy escort weapon. is called the Flex Shot Artillery, and it does have 360-degree arc and deals heavy kinetic damage. Then we have some consumables and kit modules. We have the security kit module, containment field available for tacticals, engineering fabrication kit module, flare mortar, sounds interesting. And the science is going to get a research kit module, integrated electrical field. Then we have some traits that are coming with this. For tier 1 we have undeniable, attacking a foe that is affected by a damage immunity results in a short duration armor penetration buff. Then we have munitions dampeners, increased kinetic and physical resistance rating. Tier 2 for space, unshaken resolve, attacking a foe that is affected by a damage immunity results in a short duration hull penetration buff. Velocity attenuators, increased kinetic and physical resistance rating. Tier 3 for the ground, unstoppable. When you kill an enemy player, they drop a pickup buff. Picking up the buff grants to your team brief speed boost, heal, and shield heal. Has a 5% chance to occur against NPCs. And critical feint, being hit with an incoming critical places a debuff on the attacker that reduces critical hit chance for a brief period. And tier 4 for space we have Rolling Tide. Passive, when you kill an enemy player, they drop a pickup buff. Picking up the buff grants to your team brief speed boost, heal, and shield heal. Has a 5% chance to occur against NPCs. And then we have critical deflection. Passive, being hit with an incoming critical places a debuff on the attacker that reduces critical hit chance for a brief period. And then we have the tier 5 ability, Forced Challenge. Targeted foe is turned to face you, pulled closer, and then has their front shield arc damaged. The foe is then locked out from being affected by this power for a period of time. And it is important to note that this can all change before it comes live to holodeck.
To be honest, I hope a lot of this stays because I'm going to have too much fun with this.
I know. The Force Challenge, though, it's obviously a PvP ability.
True.
Yep. Hit
All
it
the
and
other
then
ones
dance in
dealing
the
with the
face.
mines. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where it's going to be most useful is PvP.
Yeah, I can't wait for any of the mine stuff to come out because I'm just going to start getting out all my mine layers again, and I'm just going to have so much fun. Get one of my ships with an enhanced cloaking device, just slowly ride around, and then just start dropping mines. Nobody can stop me.
He's going to start pooping mines everywhere.
You know, it's
You know it's deadly. What's up?
Well, I was reading the Tier 4 space one, the space ability, the Rolling Tide, and it reminded me of this. One of the lock boxes had a ability, and I can't remember what it's called, but it dropped it was meant to lure in people, and it dropped what looked like a gear.
Oh, I know what you're
thing.
talking about.
Yeah, you remember. I don't remember
That
the name
came
of
with
it.
that came with
It was the
corrosion stuff.
Yes.
When your ship blew up, it dropped some type of item drop, and people would be like,
Well,
"What? What's that?"
You
And drive over, and
activated
it blows up.
Right. Yeah, you activated it, dropped it over. So now it didn't go over very well because it was very obvious that it was some kind of
A trap.
trick or trap. People don't drop things when you're in PvP, and enemies don't go for that. The AI has no as a thing. So it was basically useless. But I don't know anymore. If you know, if people start slotting this trait, it could be that that might have a use. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Then again, it may
'Cause I
look like
wonder-
the.
Well, I
Yeah.
wonder if somebody slots the trait, and we would have to test this. If one person on the team slots the trait, is the loot box visible to everybody on the team?
I think it may be, but I feel like it's not going to look like an item drop. It may look like the stuff that you may see on the
I
Dyson
don't
Battle Zone.
It may, but
those
this would
sound like the
be
same thing they
that
have
would
there.
be in space. Yeah. Well,
The
this
tier
would be
3
in
is on
space.
ground. Yeah.
Tier
that would
3
be
is
in
on
space.
ground, but Tier 4 is on space.
Yeah, you're right. Well, definitely have
So
to
it
test
may
that.
look like a loot box. Yeah. So, just saying, that might come around and actually be useful to PvPers. We'll have to test that and get back to you. But yeah.
He's quite a bit of stuff to go through as far as what all they're giving us with this reputation.
Yes.
But we will have this in the notes for you guys so you can check it out and everything. If you're somebody that maybe wants to give PvP a try, now would be a good time to do it. Everything, again, for those of you that are not PvP players, you do not have to participate in this reputation. It is an optional thing. But moving along, we have the patch notes for the 13th, which is pretty much all bug fixes.
Yeah. From what I can tell, they just fixed if the player has purchased the Baroth Bird of Prey, the player can now use its part on the core and the T6 Bird of Prey. So much as they resolved the issue with the damage history, display healing and shield damage, and left out hull damage. They also added the VO to mission turn in the Tech Survivor. They fixed the Lucari weapon proc that can no longer heal enemies while the player is confused. They also added the Type 4 and upgrade material to the Klingon flagship battlecruiser. Resolved the gap between the Gorkon nacelles and hull of the Klingon flagship battlecruiser. That's for you space Barbies out there. Resolved an issue where the Romulan Tal Shiar adapted battlecruiser and destroyer came with the RRW name prefix. That was only supposed to have the IRW. Okay. So that was just about it. Nothing too dramatic there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing too dramatic.
Not too much in the way of major stuff there. I would say we're probably at this point not going to see too much stuff in terms of major patches until we see the new season 13 coming along.
And then we'll see a new wave of bugs.
And a new wave of headaches and paperwork for me and Kirby saying, "I broke it!" And me slamming my head into a desk. But, anyways, joking aside and whatnot, and more of Kirby's, "It's a clickle!"
Hey, I did not say that word tonight.
You were thinking it.
What was the
I
word?
actually was.
It's a clickle!
I
Aw.
actually was. I was.
Not that I would give Kirby grief or anything.
No,
But-
no, he wouldn't give me grief.
Moving along
For
for
whatever.
PC.
That our title is going to be Hello Meds.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't give me grief.
Mm-hmm. See, she gives me paperwork, and this is how I get my revenge, is little
I give
things
him
like this.
Quite a bit of paperwork, yes.
So it evens out in the end. But moving along in seriousness, we have the Infinity Box being back for PC at the moment, and we have the addition of the Tier 6 Tal Shiar not lock boxes, but lockbox ships. We have the Tier 6 version of the Destroyer and the Battlecruiser. Now, These were available on the console for a little bit first, but for PC players, this is what we're getting. We have the required rank to use for the battlecruiser. This one is the one that actually comes out of the box. I think they both do, actually, or...
Nope, the other one comes Lobby store.
Oh, it is low buy. Okay. Derp. But, battlecruiser comes from the box, and it starts with a hull strength of 1.4. So it is 42,000 at level 40, and a 56,000 base at level 60. A shield modifier of 1.3, a weapons layout of 4.4, 4 device slots. Then for the bridge officer stations, you have a lieutenant tactical / intel, a lieutenant commander engineering, lieutenant commander science / command, a ensign universal, and a commander universal. So very potent in terms of adaptability. 7 degrees base turn, the battlecruiser mastery package, and the cruiser command package, which is the strategic maneuvering, the shield frequency, and the weapon system efficiency, and also the enhanced indoctrination nanite dispersal system for the console, which provides a passive aux power and turn rate. Equipping it at the same time as the shrapnel torp or the Tal Shiar adapted Borg warp core will bestow additional benefits. May be equipped on any slot, but only on Tal Shiar ships, and only one at the time. And then they do give us the Admiralty stats for those that are curious. For the card, it is 54 engineering, 40 science, 32 tech, with a special of 10 science per tac ship. Then we have the Assimilated Conduits Starship trait, which is after reaching level 5 in your Tal Shiar adapted battlecruiser, you will unlock the Assimilated Power Conduits trait. While the trait is slotted, activating emergency power to auxiliary will grant a boost to exotic damage, critical chance, and exotic critical severity for a short time. So, very potent. Quick thoughts, guys, before we move on to the second ship.
Commander Universal.
As it says in the name, it is a very adept battle cruiser.
Holy Hannah. Yeah,
I want this ship.
That's pretty adaptable.
Hit me up after the show, Artie, and I could make a deal with you.
Ooh.
Wow.
But, yeah, definitely very adaptable ship. If you're looking for something with a lot of flexibility, this is the ship for sure.
Yeah, no kidding.
Could go heavy science, could go heavier tech, engineering. There's quite a bit of stuff you can play with this. Oh, and it does come with a cloaking device. Apparently I missed that, and also sensor analysis. And can load cannons.
Science.
Yeah.
Does it come with secondary deflector?
I wish. Sadly, I don't see anything that says that it does. It'd be just a wee bit broke if it gave a secondary deflector, too.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't be
come on,
complaining,
it's
but,
I know.
but yeah.
As another thing, I would like to point out the Admiralty ship stat that comes with it. It's pretty even. I like it. Because we need more engineering, science-heavy ships.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We do.
But moving on to the second ship that we have is the one that comes from the low-buy store. This is the Tier 6 adapted destroyer, the Mandukar. It can be used at level 40. It starts out with a hull strength of 1.3, so 39,000 at 40 and 52,000 base at 60. A shield modifier of 1.1, a 4-3 weapons layout, 3 device slots, an ensign tactical seat, a commander tactical seat, lieutenant commander science, lieutenant universal / pilot, and lieutenant commander universal / intel. So, very interesting in that department. The consoles... Now, oh, go ahead.
If I'm reading this right, this means it will be getting a heavy weapon slot.
Potentially, yes.
It has 7 weapons and a commander tactical.
That is true.
So,
So this very well could be
yeah.
getting that heavy weapon slot, as Kirby was pointing out. For console mods, we have 4 tactical, 3 engineering, and 4 science. Base turn rate of 11 degrees per second. Comes with the enhanced shrapnel torpedo launcher console. Has a cloak, a sensor analysis, can load dual cannons. It comes with the destroyer mastery package, which gives the plus accuracy, plus damage, plus crit chance, and critical hit chance. And I believe they put that twice. I believe they meant to put crit severity on one of those. And then they also have the starship trait of the synergistic tactical systems. But
It does also come with a cloaking device. I think you missed that.
thought I said that one, but anyway, it comes with a cloak, so
Okay.
there is that. But the bonuses from the console, it provides a passive bonus to critical hit chance, everything, so that is very nice. Then, obviously, you can only have one at the time of the console. The Admiralty stats are 31 engineering, 41 science, 54 tactical, and the special is 10 science per engineering ship. Then for the trait, while this trait is slotted, activating cannon rapid fire, surgical strikes, and recruit reserves to weapons will provide a large boost to starship particle generator skill and control expertise for a short time. And then we do have the 2-set bonus and the 3-set bonus for the adapted stuff. We have the Taushiar augmented repair systems. Passively regenerates all at an increased rate and increases all shield healing received by 10%. For the 3-set, your exotic damage, charged particle, and tachyon beam abilities deal additional radiation damage to foes. Damage is not increased by abilities that normally increase damage, but can be increased with your exotic particle generator skill. So, thoughts on our second ship there, folks?
I want it.
I think Artie
I
wants
need
to
more
win.
shrapnel torpedoes.
Well, that offer to potentially make a deal
want it too,
stands still.
So
Ooh.
I want it too. I want them both, but yeah.
The only question is, do you have the lobes to make the deal? Shameless
Do you
plug, trying to
have
sell
the
something to my co-host.
inventory?
I will admit
Yes, yes.
I may be bribed to
There may
not
be
bring as
some-
much paperwork.
I know, right? There may be some promises of less paperwork.
Or at least them to not break as much. Can't guarantee they'll live up to it, but
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
just
you
keep
know.
some things to ourselves for a while, you know.
Yeah, definitely some good ships. If you're somebody that enjoys Tau Shiar or are looking for ships that are very adaptable, then these are 2 you're probably going to want to consider. Not to mention the funny fact that some people say the destroyer looks like a flying cockroach.
Oh, so that's where I've seen it before.
At the bottom of my shoe. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, I thought it was funny anyway that some people were
It
making that
is.
comparison.
I do
I
find
can
it.
see why.
I will say on the Space Barbie side of things, I do like how they kept with the tier 5 version of it that's still kind of spiky and hollowed out, but they made it more sleek, I guess, more streamlined with the design. I really like that with both the battlecruiser and the destroyer.
Can see that. But moving along, we have the Survivor Week 2 rewards.
Alright, and that's me, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So, the Survivor Week 2 rewards, we get... where is it? The Polaron Covert Ops Compression Pistol. It is a weapon of ingenuity. So it is a compression bolt pistol, and let's see. It can fire lethally accurate shots in the hands of a trained marksman. In addition to these modifications, the pistol has been linked with Romulan operative armor and shield to deploy an active camouflage when in the heat of battle in order to protect the user from consistent exposed combat. So the Polaron Covert Ops Compression Pistol is part of the Furtive Perseverance set that has been available from the Survivor mission or episode. So you can collect the additional pieces by running that episode. Additionally, the first 2 pieces were available last week, so you can now complete the set. The 2-piece bonus provides a plus 10% critical chance while stealthed and not moving. And this gets doubled if you are also crouched. So there's 2 things that have to occur. You gotta have 2 pieces, or 3 things that gotta occur. 2 pieces, be stealthed and not moving. Plus 20% critical severity while stealthed and not moving. And this is also doubled if also crouched. And plus 25 kit readiness, which improves your kit module cooldowns. And your 3-piece bonus is covered tracks. The 3-piece bonus provides plus 25 kit performance, improves all your kit modules, and kills with the Polaron Covert Ops Compression Pistol skills have a chance to apply ambush. So that's interesting. And important thing to remember, if you're doing this on a lower level tune, you do get free upgrades to Mark 12. So there you go. Alright, and that is our week 2 reward. You get the Polaron Covert Ops Compression Pistol.
My first thought was about this was, I have to be stealth and not moving? How am I going to get anywhere?
I know, right?
Well, it's more so for whenever you're ready to take the kill shot, is what I gathered out of this.
Yep.
You know, sit back with a TR and snipe somebody through the shield. Not that I've ever done that or would do that, mind you, but...
Yeah.
And of course she doesn't believe it. Can't say I blame her because I don't believe it
not.
either.
It's like, bull, you didn't convince me.
Yes.
Anyway. Moving
But
right along.
moving along, we have the Undiscovered Lockbox coming to console.
Okay. Well, for all you guys on console, the Undiscovered Lockbox for most of you guys get like the special Agents of Yesterday ships and weapons. For such ships, I'll start with there. You get the 23rd Century Tier 6 Dreadnought pack, which the Federation characters can get the prototype Dreadnought Cruiser Tier 6, which is known as the Atlas class. The Klingons can get a D9 Dreadnought battle cruiser, and the Romulans get the Thry Dreadnought Warbird. Each ship comes with their special console. The Federation cruiser, Dreadnought cruiser, comes with the Console Universal Dynamic Power Redistributor module. Essentially, this console greatly strengthens your structural integrity field for a short time, thus providing a large increase of hull regeneration rate and damage resistance. So it could be very helpful for healing and surviving 10 tons of damage in a small amount of time. Its tier 6 trait is SIF Shunt, activating any hull ability while at full hull strength provides a boost to all power levels. This effect may stack up to 3 times. Okay, for the Klingon D9 Dreadnought Cruiser, their console is the Universal Disruption Pulse Emitter. Starship equipped with this device emits a series of pulses from its deflector, wreaking havoc on critical ship systems. These pulses disable and deal moderate physical damage to any foe in front of the user. Actually do quite a lot of damage if you have the power for it, and it's quite nice on most ships. Their tier 6 trait is Catastrophic Overload. Jam sensors deal high electrical damage and disable target in a large area of exploration in addition to its normal effects. And finally, the Thry Dreadnought Warbird comes equipped with the Universal Secondary Shield Projector. A starship with this console can envelop allies with a secondary shield. Affected allies gain a large amount of secondary shielding during this time. This also cleanses all hazard and debuff effects on affected allies once every second while active. The T6 trait for this is a layered shielding. Emergency powered to shields and extend shields apply a moderate amount of secondary shielding to their target in addition to their normal effects. Layered shielding does not stack. This is actually a very good console for surviving, and it helps the team a lot when they're all getting hit by some decent amount of damage. And coming around with the new low-buy ship, you get the NX Escort refit, tier 6, and their universal console is Point Defense Bombardment Warhead. Activating this console launches a warhead that slowly travels to your target. Any enemy unfortunate enough to get within the warhead's attack range will repeatedly bombarded with photon torpedoes. The warhead detonates on reaching its target, causing a heavy kinetic damage to the target and all nearby foes. It's a really good explosion as well if you want to see something go kablooey from long range. The tier 6 for this is Peripheral Targeting, or I think I said that right. I can't speak today.
Peripheral or preferential, sorry.
Preferential targeting,
Preferential
activating beam fire at will and cannon scatter volley will cause beam overload and cannon rapid fire to deal 50% additional damage for the next 30 seconds. For the Klingons and Romulans that may be able to attain the cross-faction bundle since they're not able to get the NX. So instead of being for the Klingons or the Romulans being able to get the NX refit, they're able to get a smaller amount bundled that just has the tier 6 and the console for it. Additional information, that's a link for their stats, I believe. For other things, the undiscovered lockbox does have the R&D packs, a boost, and other sorted items like usual. They also have the cross-faction console packs and cross-faction starship trait packs, which will allow one faction captain to be able to get the trait for another.
Joined your channel.
You know. Along with all those, you may get the 23rd Century Research Duty Officer assignments, which yield some excellent XP and dilithium rewards. Along with this, you also get the Undiscovered Bridge Officer Training Manual packs, which allow you to get a couple unique bridge officer abilities for engineering science and tactical bridge officers. Some of these function in space, from what I can tell. That's a lot of words there. I'm going to actually move on to the new stuff, the weapons.
And to answer the question really quickly, that is the stats that they link to.
What was what?
That's additional information. That was indeed the stats.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Alrighty.
I took a guess on that. Okay. For with the new lockbox coming around, you actually get new ground and space weapons, known as the for the ground you get the assault phasers, which look like the phaser pistols from Wrath of Khan and that era. And in space, you get the pulse phasers, which are the same phasers from Wrath of Khan in that era. Along with this, you also get some new EV suits from the year 2293. Each one comes with their own specific faction, but they all look very the same, just different color. I actually find them pretty cool. Along with all this, you also get some new pets. The Farpoint Sindarian companion each come with their own distinct color of purple, blue, pink, green, and orange yellowish, whatever you want to call that. And they do look really cool when you get a close look at them. For you space barbies out there, you may also get some new TOS clothing. The Zambian and the Ithanite outfits are available in the Lobby store. You may also see these in the Babel conference, and if you want to get a closer look, you can actually run one of the missions in the, I can't remember the name of the mission, but in Agents of Yesterday, you actually get to see the Babel conference, and some of these guys are wearing these outfits.
Yes.
And this will be coming to Xbox One and PS4, so not to get confused for anyone that's actually on computer, this is already out for us.
Yes. But a pretty good bit of stuff. Highly recommend the Atlas, especially if for the console, if nothing else. And
I have to agree with that, yes.
I will link the stats for the ships for our console players out there, just for ease of convenience for you guys on the notes when we get the local recording uploaded. But, anyways.
Alright, and we are on to our budget build, yes?
That's what it looks like.
Alright. So this budget build was a challenge from Cannon Shop from the Temporal Armada, and he wanted us to make a DPS centered Klingon Hegta level 50 ship, Klingon Hegta Bird of Prey. So that is the starship. And I made it a phaser cannon build. I went phaser because I wanted to use the quantum phase set, because the quantum phase set, the 3-piece, has a very good beam attack that not only can demolish your enemy, but drains energy as well. So that's why I wanted the quantum phase set, and it's cheap. The rule that we did have with this when given this challenge was we were allowed to get unlimited fleet gear. I did try to keep the fleet gear to a minimum on my DPS centered build. So I went with the quantum phase, dual heavy cannons, and torpedo, obviously. And then I went with advanced dual heavy phasers, crit D2, damage from the fleet, because we could not find any dual heavy cannons in the mission rewards, at least not on the KDF side. And we went through everything. Alright, so then I have the quantum phase set for the space gear. The reason I went with that was because it gives the weapon entanglement, which gives an extra damage bonus to the player for those really big targets, those bigly targets. Alright, and then I went with the Fleet Very Rare Advanced Plasma Integrated Warp Core, the one that has amp and weapons to aux. Alright, and this gives me...
Pretty sure
Go
that
ahead.
would be ultra rare.
Sorry, you're probably right. And I didn't even look to double check.
Slight brain
But you
fart.
are correct. Yeah, brain fart. And so this has the amp proc on it, which allows you to get a damage bonus for every subsystem that is over 75 while in battle. So there you go. Alright, and then we have, of course, a turret. This was a mission reward. Act 2 times damage from... Oh goodness, I forget what mission. Oh, actually from the same mission that gives the quantum phase weapon set. That's right, I was very surprised. And then the kinetic cutting beam. Again, we used, I know it's fleet gear, or not fleet, I know it's reputation gear, but we were told that we could count on 2 of the most common reputations being available. So there we go. And then we have the subspace field modulator, something I like to put in on all my budget builds as an oh crap. I even use this on my non-budget builds. So, and then of course we have the third piece of the quantum phase set, the quantum phase converter. And then I went for, to give us a little more defense, because this is quite squishy, and to give us a bit of EPS, I went with the, from the dilithium mine, the enhanced neutronium alloy with EPS, and they're both the enhanced neutronium EPS. And then I went with the assimilated module to complete the set with the cutting beam and the assimilated module. This gives me a bit of extra weapon power at random points in the firing cycle, so that always helps. And then we have 2 of the restorative particle focuser from the Crenham Research Lab. I went with Drain-X times 2 because that extra attack that you get from the quantum phase 3 piece does have drain ability, so this will boost it. Okay. I'm not interested in the damage ability that it, or the damage boost that it gives. It's only going to give those to science abilities after the revamp or the balance, so I'm not worried about the damage bonus that it would have given. That's not why I'm getting it. I'm getting it for the Drain-X proc. Alright, and then we, of course, because I felt I went a bit high on the fleet gear, even though we have unlimited fleet gear, I did go with the reward from of Signs Importance of the Tactical Phaser Relay at Mark 12 for my tactical consoles. If you do have unlimited fleet gear and wanted to, you could of course put vulnerability locators in there. So that is of course up to you. Alright, so then I did, let's visit the actual skills. I went pretty balanced on the skills. So you can see the engineering, I did put 2 points in my hull capacity. I went for 3 points in my energy weapons, and I did kind of skimp a little on the shields, but I did make it up with the hull. And then I put points in everything that had to do with power, because once the new balancing comes out, you're not going to have quite as many options, the plasmonic leech will not give as much power as it did before, and so you're going to need to make sure that you have power wherever you can, have a good base for power. So I did put points in for everything that had power, and I opted for the energy shunt, meaning that when I go into full impulse, it won't drain quite as much from my other subsystems. So that means I'll be able to get them back a little faster. I did put points into Drain X. Again, I do have an ability that is going to drain from that Quantum Fate set. So I did give the Drain Infection. That'll help to give me a little bit more on my DPS. And then I put into Accuracy because of the changes coming with Cannon Scatter Volley and Beam Fire at Will. You're going to need a little bit more accuracy. And of course, because I know I'm squishy, I did put 1 point into Defensive Maneuvering. Alright, and then for Commander, I put, again because I know I'm a bit squishy, I put 1 point into Hull Plating. I did put 3 points into shields here, into both of my shields here. That'll give me, so when my shields are up, that'll give me some good hardness and regeneration. And I did put 3 points each for weapon amplification and weapon specialization. So this will give me extra crit chance and crit severity. And then I went down, if you go down to Captain, I did put points in everything that gives me power. Again, Plasmonic Leech is being nerfed, so we're going with everything that gives us power. So we start off a bit with a bit of a better base. And then I put in my long range targeting sensors because you definitely want to reduce the distance penalty of firing any energy based weapon. So you always take those 3. And then this is where Chris and I, or Darkblade and I, disagree. I put 3 points in Hull Pen because shields go down and then what? You don't have a bonus. So I put my points in Hull Pen as I usually do. And then on the Admiral ability, the only one that I bought anything for was the power levels. So the warp core potential and the warp core efficiency. So this gives me extra to powered subsystems, and then this gives me bonuses. The efficiency gives me bonuses to low seated power. Okay. And then we of course have our specialization. I put intelligence as primary because that's going to give me flanking bonuses. And then I put temporal operative as my secondary so that I can benefit, even though it's being reduced, I can still benefit from the entropic rider. Alright, and moving back up to my bridge officer abilities. Now I want to know for the scatter volley, if you wanted to, you could trade out the scatter volley, both instances of it, for cannon rapid fire and still be absolutely fine if you wanted to do single target on this. I prefer scatter volley because it does do a nice area of effect. So I prefer scatter volley. Some people prefer to do single target and would rather have rapid fire there. That of course is your choice. But so I made the commander a tactical slot, and it has tactical team, attack pattern beta 1, and then it has my 2 scatter volleys, scatter volley 2, scatter volley 3. And then for my lieutenant commander universal, I made that as tactical again, attack team 1, attack pattern beta 1, and attack pattern Omega. This 3 attack pattern probe gives me an attack pattern whenever a scatter volley is available, or should come pretty darn close. So that's why I used it. Alright, and then on the engineering, so my Lieutenant Universal, I made an engineering, one of them, and that has emergency power to weapons 1 and 2. So this gives me extra power and an extra damage buff. And then for my last Lieutenant Universal, I made that a science, and I put in our normal science team and hazard emitters too. So there we go, and then of course Captain and Ground. So for our traits, oh, I forgot to put in Starship traits and Reputation. Oh my goodness.
Hello,
But
meds.
hello, meds. Yep. Okay. So for personal space traits, I put in accurate because again, there's going to be that accuracy debuff on things like cannon scatter volley. I put in cannon training. I put in deft cannoneer because we assume that there's at least one crafting school leveled up. I put in fleet coordinator because it's free DPS. I put in operative to increase the critical chance and severity. I put in bulkhead technician because I know we're a bit squishy. I put in a point blank shot so that when you're getting up close to your enemies you do more damage. I put in thrill seeker so that you can do those strafing runs very quickly. And then I put in last ditch effort, which is the tactical, the base tactical skill. You can trade that out for Grace Under Fire, or what is the photonic one? I can't remember. The science one, I can't remember. Has something to do with photonic. Thank you, photonic fleet. Alright, and then for starship traits, I would probably use Pedal to the Metal, since that's the one that is... Wait, since that's the one that comes with Intel. And I would use definitely, what is it? The one with the attack patterns.
The best defense.
The best defense, thank you. I had it. I had it. The best defense, and then I would use the one from the Agent of Yesterday, assuming you have it. Which is the critical
systems.
Critical systems, thank you. And assuming they did, no, that's about it. Unless you can think of another free one there, Chris. So off the top of my head, I can't think of another free one.
Well, not out of the... I can think of one, but it's not out of the specialization you've got set.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one that I thought of was point blank shot.
I was going to say unconventional tactics, personally.
Oh yeah, I can understand that one. But that wouldn't work really. I could see where you're going with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
The only reason I would say in that case is because we don't have strategists set, so probably a safe assumption it's not leveled.
That it's not leveled, yeah. And then for space reputation, we were told that we can only assume that there are two, that there have been two, oh good gosh, reputations worked on. One of them is obviously Omega, since we got some reputation gear from the Omega reputation. So the other I'm going to assume is Romulan, because Romulan is pretty easy to work on. So I'm going to assume Precision for my space rep gear, or space reputation. Precision. And then we'll have to go with either Romulan or Omega for the others. Which we could do Omega Graviton Amplifier. And there's Precision. And Sensor Targeting Assault. And I'm looking. Probably Omega Kinetic Sharing just for that last torpedo. Just in case.
You do know there's a search bar for that stuff?
Huh?
Just saying, you know there's a search bar for those rep traits, right?
I'm looking. Well, I'm looking at, I forget because I haven't looked at Omega for a while as far as traits.
Not that I would ever ball bust Kirby or anything.
No, not that he would ever. Yep. Okay. And then, of course, for our active reputation, of course, we would only have the Omega, which is ground, and the Romulan, which would be the quantum singularity manipulation. So there you go.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
fairly good setup.
Fairly good setup. This should give you quite a bit of DPS, especially with very good piloting. With good piloting, it'll serve you nicely. And as I said, you can trade out the cannon scatter volleys for cannon rapid fires if you wish. If you wish single target, and still get very good results with this build. Thoughts, comments?
If survival becomes issue, I would consider swapping one of the emergency power to weapons for either a engineering team or a reverse shield polarity.
Okay.
Or switch.
Or an idea.
Or switch out the device slots to a hull patch or armor catalyst.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't put that in the.
Only thing
There is still one free device slot.
Only thing I would say about hull patch is that can cost EC if you don't have the crafting materials. But
that's true.
You could be picking
Same
up
with the
Oh, go ahead.
Same with the armor catalyst. So that's your point.
You could be picking up a little bit of R&D materials all along as you're leveling R&D, which is what I'm assuming you're doing. So, you could excuse it that way, I guess. But, anyway.
I will say I like it only because I like the Heg to Bird of Prey, just the way it looks. A lot of cannons, a lot of weapon ports. I love it.
Yeah. And don't forget as well, folks, to throw your assimilated module in the upgrade window for a free conversion to Mark 12. That'll get you some extra stats there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But
yes, very much.
I do believe that's what we have for our budget build for the evening.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
It's, coming up on the Bugs Corner, a couple of interesting ones I was able to find for you guys. Now, there is a person over on console reporting that he has a ship stuck in the dry dock and can't get it out. It is the T1 Light Cruiser, and it says you may only have one light cruiser at a time, even though there's not another one in his ship roster. So, that was a very old bug that plagued PC for a while, where certain ships would bug out like that. If you are seeing this on console, then definitely be sure to report it and everything, especially since you guys have your own sub-forums now for the consoles and the PCs. It makes it a lot easier to get to reports like this. Then, another one. Now this is a bug that I believe Kirby had said that she saw. is the Of Signs Importance mission. The shield is saying it's no longer available and will be available on May the 2nd. Now, obviously, we know the shield's already out and everything, or should be out, yet it's displaying as this. So, if you are seeing that yourself, please, let them know. Say, hey, I'm seeing this too.
Take a screenshot.
Yeah, take a screenshot of it. A little brief clip saying, hey, this is where it's at, this is what I'm seeing. Just some kind of something so they can see it.
Yes.
But
yeah, it's interesting because I was actually recording my Teacher's Corner for this week, which was the Braden set, and I'm looking at it, and the character has the shield. I'm looking at it, and it says the shield will be available May 2nd, and I'm like, but my character already has it.
yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
So, definitely a
some
bug.
of the interesting ones I have this week. But definitely, please, if you do see any kind of bug, whatever it is, it could be a little thing, could be a big thing, please come onto the forums, let them know, say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. If you can get screenshots, if you can get video, that's even better. And just tell them, hey, this is what's going on, this is how to reproduce it, that type of stuff. Makes it easier for us bug hunters when we see that stuff so we can report it to the devs. And it makes it easier on the devs, that way they have a report that they can follow up on and try to reproduce it in order to fix it. But moving along, we have our Teacher's Corner for this evening, which, as she said, is the Braden set. And
Yeah,
take it away, teacher.
the Braden Reconnaissance set. So, I found it very interesting. It's, those impulse engines are kind of fun, and I actually talked to the person that we did the Wii build for and said, you might want to try these engines. Because it's basically you point yourself in the direction you want to go, click the ability, and you're going at 400% with a big fart trail behind you. Whee!
It's really fun on Gravity Kills.
It's I can imagine. Yeah, it's
Out of
pretty
experience, not to take the light off of your segment, but I have been in the point where I've used the braiding core and all that, gathered up a bunch of Tinkethy following me, get them close to the event horizon, fly away, drop it, have them push them all into the event horizon where they can't escape. It's real fun. You just see it just sudden
Yeah, there you
flash,
go.
and there's just like 20 ships gone. It's hilarious.
Nice.
Click tractor repulsors? I mean, what?
Uh-huh.
Same thing.
Not that I've
There you go.
done that,
And
Mass
yeah,
genocide.
the deflector boosts your control expertise, so that will work with your tractor beam repulsors, or your tractor beam, or the pull of your own gravity well. Although I don't think your own gravity well will match that of the black hole. No, it won't. No matter how much control X you get, it won't, I promise. But
Does let me know.
if it does, yeah. If it does, we'll give Chris some paperwork. And somebody out there just went, challenge accepted.
Yep.
You know this, right? Okay, but back to the set. So yeah, I think the engines are probably the funnest part of it. So yeah, but it's definitely a fun little set. It does give you control expertise, which I think was the one thing lacking. I mean, we had a free deflector that gave you Drain X. We had a free deflector that gave you particle generators. And I think this was the big one that was missing, was the Control X. So, So this does it. This gives, the big thing is Control X. It also gives a bit of Drain X, so, but not as much. So if you want any more, you gotta watch the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Definitely an interesting set, and we will have a link to Teacher's video in the description for everybody once the recording goes up. But this brings us to our final segment of the evening, and we have the RP Corner with Artie. And what have you got for us, dude?
Okay, so I was asked recently, how do you plan a story arc with your RP groups, with your RP fleet? Well, I basically told him W.W.W.W.W.H. It sounds ridiculous. It's literally who, what, when, where, why, how. To make it simple for everyone that may not have GM'd or, made a story of their own, basically, to start out, you want to create a story. That's cool. What do you want to do with the story? Do you want a bunch of Starfleet captains finding some archaeological gravesite and go, wow, we just found an Omega particle in this dude's grave. Interesting, why was it there? And now you have a little bit of a story arc to get these guys to go, alright, so this was placed here before the guy died, or maybe it went somewhere else, or maybe this is part of some grand prophecy of some sort for some other alien race, maybe who knows what. As basically, you have to think out, even though it may change once you get to that point in the story, you have to have a bullet point idea of where you're going with the story. A plan, an A to B, then B to C, so on and so forth. Next part of it is who's going to be in it. Depending on your group, you may go, I would like this captain to be in it, but you'll really probably take anyone that wants to come along, so that's no problem. And what non-player characters would you like to bring along? Because from what I know, there's a lot of story GMs and stuff like that that want to go, I want to bring back my reoccurring NPC for this story arc just so I can bug the players. I'll do that. Tie it in somehow, maybe have them go, I'm Captain Exposition, I'm going to tell you something and leave you with that choice and do all this sort of stuff. It kind of happens. Alright, the next part, the what. What's the end game? What are you hoping to achieve with this? In some story arcs that I've seen, it may be starting out with a pirate raid and your ship is just nearby to save them. And at the end of like 10 different events after this, the whole story arc comes to a close of you actually creating some new diplomacy deal with another alien race that you happen to save during all that time. The end goal was basically, even though it wasn't obvious, it was basically diplomacy between you and another race that was actually having some differences with you. Another thing, the where. For my fleet, we're actually out in the Zenith Expanse. It's far flung out of everywhere else, so we're not affected too much by the in-game story. But other places, maybe you're right there next to Bajor, or you just happen to be passing New Romulus. Who knows? And we get back to the why. Why do you want to do this? Most answers I get, the most common answer I get, and I tell everyone is, so the players have fun. It's not really a you doing it for your story. It's not exactly for you, because then it gets kind of boring if you do it for your own character. Why need anyone else? So if you do it for the players that that do it, they come up with their own plan of how to do it, because you give any player a sort of idea, they'll definitely throw it to the ground and go, I have a better idea. And you may have to modify for it, but either way, as long as they have fun with it, you will definitely have an enjoyable time with it. But to get more into detail of the why, instead of going because the players need something to do, it's more of the enjoyment of making something that that group or fleet may count as canon. You may go, alright, so this species came up with the disease, found a disease that's killing quite a few people, and well, they need someone to fix it, and you come in and fix it. Now you have 5 people that suddenly get a alien Nobel Prize for curing this very weird sickness. Cool, that's canon now. technically. So that group is going to be renowned in the area for being good doctors or something. Who knows? But I will say for each group or each fleet or whatever guild you're in for Star Trek roleplay or any roleplay actually, it will differ depending on who you're with and so on. And it also depends on what GMs are there. So this may be a little it may be a little off the ball depending on how you want to roleplay. But that's the general gist of it. What you think?
Seems like
So
a
5
pretty
W's
thorough
and
thing.
8.
All right, so I heard
Okay.
5 W's and H and something else.
5 W's and 8.
Yes.
Seems pretty thorough.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's like with any story, you have to figure those out when you're writing. As always, I mean, it's not a new concept. I had posters with it all in my classroom, but we forget. We get out of the classroom, we forget, and so yeah, it's the basics of good story writing.
Basically boils down to hashtag plot.
Exactly. I will say I had long discussions with actual authors that make some books, and I'm not going to actually advertise on this at the moment, but they also basically went, it's literally the 5 W's and the H. You have to figure out where you're going with it. So it's not only for GMing for in-game stories and all that, but for books, for school projects, everything really. It's critical thinking. You get down to it, you know what you're going to be doing.
Yep, and it's important to know that it's not just what's going to happen to your characters. Is what is your end game or what is your goal? That's the important thing that you've noted here. Is it's kind of like, starting at the end and then working your way backwards, which is something we did with lesson planning a lot as a teacher. We'd figure out where we need the kids to be, and we'd plan our semester based on that.
Exactly. I will say, as a situation that most GMs, especially starting out with their first few events, they run into the problem of knowing where they're starting at and knowing their end goal, but they can't really figure out where their middle is. Here's an easy solution. If you have the notes of what certain things that would progress the story, like, say, your team of Starfleet or Romulan or whoever personnel are going, all right, we know there's a bad battleship over there, and we don't know anything about it, so we're going to send an intelligence group. Well, the idea might have been yours to send an intelligence group, but say a couple of the players have a better idea and say, well, what if we stake it out with we requisition a cloaked vessel, we go get closer instead of sending a undercover team or something that sneak into the ranks of whoever has this super battleship or something, and go, all right, we see it from afar, we'll do some detailed scans, and then we'll leave with no bloodshed in less than an hour. Instead of having to go through 2 weeks of, oh, I'm going to put on some face paint, pretend to blend in, and hopefully I don't get caught. Yeah, who wants to be that type of a spy? But what I mean about that is that if you don't know what to do and maybe you feel like your plan is a little too railroad, you can have whoever is your NPC that may be leading the other players along, like say your player's going, hey, here's another quest, you got something to do? And the players may go, well, I want to do it this way. Can I do it this way? And that's where you have to basically haggle with the player going, depending on what you do, how your roles work, or how you really detail your end of the story, this is what you get out of it. And then it builds up from there. So that leads up to how you do it.
Yep.
Seems pretty good overall. But and definitely some good advice from our resident RP hologram. But that pretty much concludes our show for this evening. But before we leave, also another shout out to our good friends over at the Temporal Armada that are kind enough to rebroadcast for us. And also, the other big thing, brain farting. Forgot what I was going to say.
Our GoFundMe
Yes.
review show is heading out to Las Vegas again this year. We want to bring the Vegas experience to you, but we do need your help to pay for some of the electric and internet. They do charge us for this. So for some of the electricity and the internet, so we can broadcast everything we're doing, everything that happens while we are at Vegas, and even get some impromptu interviews like we did last year. You never know who will stop by the booth or stop by the tables. And so anyway, our GoFundMe is linked to the in the description of each of the it's in the tech words tonight. Okay, it is down below on the Twitch stream, and it is in the description of the YouTube channel. Ha!
Yes, brain fart. I could not think of the GoFundMe thing name for some reason. It's one of those nights, folks. It really is.
It is, I'm telling you.
But also, if you'd like as well for us to help out with your piloting, you're more than welcome to track us down in game and just tell us what you're looking to do, what kind of ship you're looking to fly. We'll help you out with that. Feel free as well to go onto the website, submit a request there, or if you have a budget build you'd like to see us do, then feel free to let us know. Or if you see any bugs, feel free to pass it to one of these guys, and they'll pass the paperwork on up to me.
Yes, we like it when we get blamed for the paperwork. It causes aneurysms.
I kind of get a paycheck out of it, so I'm happy.
You weren't supposed to mention.
And there they go again, talking about this pay that I never see. But anyways, folks, hope if you've enjoyed the show for this evening, hope you found the information of some bit of use anyway. There was quite a bit to get through and everything, especially with some of the new reps and everything. And one final quick note I forgot to mention with the PC Infinity Box. If you're a tactical player, definitely check it out, because now A Good Day to Die is in the Infinity Box.
Yeah.
But
it's very helpful.
It is.
Yes. But that's my little public service announcement tacked on at the end of everything. But anyways, folks, join us next week for more fun, more articles, shenanigans, budget builds, and hopefully us speaking coherent words this next week. But for now, folks, this is Pilot Review, warping out of here.
Coherent? What's that? Bye!
See you guys.